Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pandemic Yoga number 6. And I also want to mention that I put up a meditation yesterday on my blog, which is at jennifernew.com. It's, I think, a really lovely meditation based on oak trees and the roots that they send under the ground toward one another. So check that out. It's short and might feel grounding, literally. So today's practice is fun things to do with a wall. So for this practice, you need an empty wall. I myself took a large picture off of my wall in order to have space. And then we're going to do something also that you'll need some kind of padding under your knee. And then the final thing you need is a book, preferably a hardcover, regular sized like novel. I have, let's see here, A Manual for Cleaning Women by Lucia Berlin, Selected Stories. And we're going to use it sideways. And you need hardcover because you need that kind of firmness. So that's what we need. All right. So let's get started. We'll start standing and then we'll come down. And as we come down, I'm going to have to just adjust us all. So, all right. So we're going to use the wall for some poses that we would sometimes do on the mat. So we're going to start by bringing, let's just all start left. Okay, or however you want to do it to face me. It doesn't really matter. So I am about a foot away from the wall, maybe a little bit more than a foot away from the wall. My hand is up here nice and tall, about as tall as I can get it. My fingers are spread wide. And then I'm going to rest my ear on that arm and let the forearm come to the wall and then reach up and over. And then I'm actually going to reach behind. So as a result, I'm opening here in this side of front of my chest. Now I'm going to bring awareness to my legs and draw energy up my legs and just tuck my tailbone a little bit. So I'm feeling some stretch in my belly, in my right side, up the hip, through the ribs, and just settling into an easy breath here. Great. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring that hand down, and I'm simply going to take the other side. So looking down, my feet are parallel. This time let's start with our legs, draw energy up the fronts of the legs. So lift the kneecaps, engage the quads. Go ahead and lean over onto this forearm, and then opposite arm comes up and reaches back. My chin is tucked, and then my breath starts coming into this side body. Opening up that whole side body through the ribs. Nice breath. Great. And then go ahead and come back. Face the wall. And now I'm about a foot, literally a foot away. And my hands are going to come down, and so that my palms are coming straight out from my shoulders. Fingers nice and wide on the wall. And then I'm going to start walking away from the wall. And with soft knees, I'm going to think of sending my sits bones back behind me and press into the wall. Then look up and come back down with the head. Now walk the hands down about a hand or a half a hand length. And really actively press into the wall. Bend your knees a little bit more. Think of separating the sits bones. Lift all 10 toes. Separate the toes. Bring them back down. Press, press, press. Breathing, straightening your knees to your degree. Let your heart soften toward the floor. Great, and then go ahead and gently walk back to the wall. So now facing the wall again, about a foot apart. Bring your left hand out into a cactus. So the fingers are spread wide. The hand is coming out at kind of a 45-degree angle. And then bring the right fingertips to the wall and just start walking yourself around. Let that right hand then come down to the waist. Look down at your feet, make sure that they're parallel. And you want to keep turning until you're feeling some nice stretch on this front left side of the pec and shoulder. Go ahead and soften this other shoulder. Just notice that your jaw is soft. And then you can bring this right hand over to the left hip and just gently draw yourself a little bit more into this twist. But really our big focus is up here. Great, release that hip and then just start softly walking back. And then the same arm, bring it up and over so that the forearm is more or less parallel to the ground. And now you're going to walk away from that hand into the point where your chin is kind of up and over the meaty part of the top of the arm, the deltoid. It also can be hard to tell, but see if you can try and keep your feet parallel. And again, soften the arm and the shoulder that aren't involved here. Staying strong in the legs. Breathing in and out through the nose, especially if you've got your chin up and over the deltoid. Great, and then gently walking back to center and release that hand. Good, so bringing the right hand out now, fingers wide, 45-degree angle, and walking away until you feel a nice stretch in the front of the right pec. Looking down at your feet, are they parallel? Drawing energy up the legs. Engaging through the abs a little, and then possibly bringing the left hand over to the right hip. Breathing into that stretch in the front of the right pec. You can really press into this hand at the wall. Great, and then gently turn back toward the wall, and then this right arm comes up and over till the forearm is parallel, and then walk in the opposite direction, and then bring the chin up and over. Softening through the left shoulder. Great, and coming back to center. So then, still about a foot apart, bring your hands up and now come up on the balls of the toes. Bring your hands up, up, up as high as they can. Reach, reach, reach. And now try and keep your fingers up as high as they can while you slowly lower your heels. Your fingers will fall, but try to keep them up. Slow, slow, slow. Great. And now with your heart coming toward the wall, separate your arms a little wider and walk away, and then let your chin rest on the wall. So this is a version of happy puppy pose. Not happy puppy, just puppy. So the heart is sinking toward the wall, this big opening in the mid-back, chin or forehead resting on the wall. Big opening in the armpits, in the mid-back. Great. And gently coming back. And for a moment, just turn and bring your hands onto your knees. And let's just take some easy cat-cows. Just sort of a counter to that. Great. And come on up. And then go ahead and clasp your hands, and you're going to bring your forearms to the wall. You're starting with your fist right in front of your forehead. And then you're going to walk away from the wall and then really actively push into the forearms, lifting through the legs, lifting through the sits bones. So similar action to what you just had, but now you're pressing into the forearms. Great, and soften and come away. And then we'll just take that version of a wall push, which is related to downward dog again. So just bend the elbows, bring the palms onto the wall, press yourself back. Find the point where your ears are even with your inner arms. Bend the knees a little, separate through the sits bones, press actively into the wall, and then maybe straighten those legs. Great. And just gently step forward. And then just come into an easy forward fold. Hold opposite elbows and just let yourself swing back and forth a few times. Let your head be heavy. Just take some breaths. Ha. Ha. And then go ahead and roll yourself back up. Great. So we're going to come down now to the floor. So go ahead, and we're going to start by finding your book and bringing it between your feet. So take your book the long way and bring it between your feet. Sit right up next to the wall, and then draw the feet in as close as you can. And then sit up tall. Imagine that you have another book on the crown of your head. Bring the breath low into the belly, the space between the navel and the pubic bone. Really just concentrate on filling and emptying that space. And then go ahead and remove the book, draw the feet together, and bring them in. You can hold the toes, you can hold the ankles. And again, return to that easy breath. In and out, low belly. Great, and then bring the knees back up together. Turn with your side toward the wall, And let's see here. This is going to take me a second. Okay, so we're going to do a twist and use the wall to twist. So your outside leg, the knee is going to bend. The leg closest to the wall is going to come over, okay? And then wrap one elbow around the knee and then bring the other hand onto the wall. And then this hand can actually come up and over that knee and use both of your hands on the wall to come into the twist. So you've got a little bit of a way to get a little deeper into this twist than you sometimes do. So you can find that by pushing both against this knee, but also using the wall to push and to draw the heart more toward the wall, you can just come a little deeper and a little differently into this twist than you can sometimes. You want to notice that you're not like lurching forward. Great, and just gently release out of that. All right, so go ahead and turn and face the opposite direction now. So again, the outer leg bends, the leg closest to the wall comes across. And then reach this arm, this time we'll just take it right over that knee, and then both hands to the wall. Thinking of drawing the navel a little farther into the twist and the heart. And the crown of the head floating up nice and tall. Nice opening in the mid-back, which we've already been doing some nice things for. Space for the heart. Another inhale, and exhale, gently unwind. All right, so this next piece is what you're really going to need something soft under your knees. And if you might need even an extra blanket or something. And then I'll also show you, if this pose is too much for you, another option. So we're going to stretch out our quads. We already did our inner thighs, and now we're going to take our quads. So you're going to bring one foot up the wall, and then you're going to bring the opposite foot forward. Now, for some people, just staying right here is plenty, and for others, you can come up into this sort of wedding proposal kind of pose. One hand on top of the other, thinking of evening your hips as much as possible. I forgot to move after all that. This rug under my knee, so I'm going to just move that back. Much better. So things you can do here, draw the tailbone down, draw the navel up, and that will just come a little bit more into that stretch. Tucking the chin while broadening across the chest. Nice. And then just gently come down onto your hands, and we'll take the other side. So, other foot comes up, and then coming on up. Again, tuck of the tailbone, little lift in the navel, one hand on top of the other. You might feel a real difference between the two sides. I know I do. This side is much tighter for me. Easy breath. Oh, you guys, how are you all doing? How are you doing? Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me too. This is interesting. All right, come on down. So the final two things are on our back. So you're going to, it's as though you're coming with legs up the wall, but we're taking a wider stance and we're doing two things here, and you don't want to be right against the wall. So if I were doing legs up the wall, I'd literally bring my hip to the wall and swivel up. And here I'm going to be a little farther away, a little kind of messier with my setup, okay? So I'm going to come down and I'm going to bring both feet onto the wall, and then I'm going to bring one ankle to my knee, and I'm going to just play with my distance until I feel some stretch, just like in a figure four. And then I'm actually, for me, it works to kind of come onto the balls of the toe and then just gently press this knee away. Now, you can always just go into figure four if you prefer, but it's kind of fun just to do something a little different. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to draw my arch of my back down, tuck my chin a little so that I'm just taking care of my back. Nice. And then I'm going to soften through there. Take the other side. And again, find the distance that's right for you. You might need to play with it. Wiggle closer, wiggle farther. Bring a little pressure to that knee. Nice. Notice this foot is flexed. The foot within view to you is flexed. Nice. And then I'm going to bring both feet to the wall, and I might just wiggle just a tiny bit closer, and then I'm going to come into a very wide goddess pose. So nice wide opening. My toes are at a diagonal, and I myself am going to bring my hands to my knees for just a little added weight. You certainly don't need to do that. You could just have your hands down or on your belly. And here we're just going to breathe into our belly. Really imagine filling up this space. And then on the exhales, letting it float down. Just really being curious about the rise and fall, about filling the space, and then also kind of in your mind's eye, seeing it drop down into the pelvic bowl. Nice. So wherever you are right now, you might choose to wiggle yourself all the way to the wall and spend some time in legs up the wall. You might draw yourself away from the wall and bring yourself into a Shavasana with your feet right on the wall. Heels are on the ground, but feet are on the wall. And maybe bring a weight onto your hips or a sandbag, and that will provide some grounding. Okay? So whichever one works for you, spend a little more time here, okay? And I am going to leave it with that. So I'll just be out of here, but you don't need to do a darn thing, okay, friend? All right, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.